Hello everybody, welcome to the ZiaWoolz podcast, episode 26. My name is Doug and this is a podcast about yarn and about wool and about all the beautiful things you can make with it. And I am coming to you from Albuquerque in New Mexico, where I live with my family and with our two cats. Right now I have my window open and we have never caught the rattlesnake, but I found out that rattlesnakes do not climb walls. They need something to hang on to, like a tree, a branch or something. So I'm not worried about this naughty guy coming in. It may be too cold already too, but whatever. So the cats are out in the courtyard right now, and we'll see if they show up later. So, where was I? Yeah, where I'm coming from, Albuquerque, and what's been going on in the past weeks, our rattlesnake, and also this brings me to something which I forgot. I am so sorry. I spaced out and I did not properly give credit to one of our sponsors at the Knit New Mexico retreat with Isabel Kramer, and that's Amor of Crave Yarn, who also donated a beautiful project bag. I have currently my skein of yarn in this, the Isabel Kramer inspired one, and the project bag has on the outside a poem which I believe was written by Crave Yarn owner Amor's husband. So very special and very cool, because it talks about love for yarn, love for knitting, love for Crave Yarn, of course. Another thing that I don't think I properly mentioned was that I got the chance to meet designer Alyssa Latucci, who is local to me, and her and Amor of Crave Yarn have currently a collaboration going where they Alyssa designed some beautiful hat patterns with for Amor's yarn, and Alyssa, I was so lucky that I got the chance to meet her. She joined us for the last day, end of the retreat celebration at my house, and I'm excited. I was excited to meet her because I had just recently purchased 2 of her patterns, one of them being this one, the La Luz, which is so special. And I've mentioned this before because we have the La Luz trail going up our mountain here, the Sandia Mountain, which you saw in the last video. And oh my gosh, that video. Did I say that I was worried about being a black silhouette in front of the light mountains, which was exactly then what happened, but I didn't realize it because the clouds and the light changed so much during the video. So I'm so sorry about that. Today I probably could sit outside, but I'm not going to do it because it's going to be so much better inside with the lighting so you can actually see what I'm showing you. Sorry. Okay. This was back to the pattern, back to Alyssa. It was a pleasure to meet her. She's such a super nice and sweet person, and it was just exciting because I have her hat pattern, and it's something that I want to cast on super soon with some of my own hand-dyed yarn, some ZiaWoolz, and I already dyed some yarns in a more tonal way, which will hopefully be perfect for a hat with a lot of texture like this one. So I can't wait to start that. I'm probably gonna dig into the bins shortly and within the next days. So that was a little bit of recap. Also, it leads me to mentioning, if you are local the next weekend, you may want to head up to Santa Fe, because Amore of Crave Yarn has moved her studio to, or is right now moving her studio to a new location. Her old location has closed down, and next Saturday or Sunday, I'm not quite sure, but you can find that out on her Instagram feed, Crave Yarn. That's going to be the new studio opening, new space, more space. I bet it's going to be super nice. I plan to be there with some friends, and I can't wait to see Amore again and her new space there. It's got to be exciting. So that's next weekend. Again, local peeps, this Saturday is the 8-year anniversary celebration of everybody's favorite local yarn store, the Yarn Store at Nob Hill. So do stop by. They have a potluck celebration all day pretty much, and at the same time there is just 3 minutes walking distance away. It's an event in a church in Nob Hill where the fiber arts related guilds have a demo day, and you can take a peek at everything that's happening in Albuquerque in terms of fiber arts. I know my rug hooking guild is probably going to be there, and all the knitters, crocheters, and whatever you can imagine. I haven't even looked up everything. I think usually they have the silk painters also. It's just going to be a super nice event, and it's so nice to have it in conjunction with the Yarn Store celebration, because yeah, you can make it all about the fiber arts on Saturday. So, oh, one more event, local, again, November 10th is going to be the High Desert Studio Tour again, and I will be participating, and I will be joined by my friend Laura, who is a rug hooker, and also by another friend, Catherine, who is joining me for the first time with her fabulous tote bags, just so amazing for knitters. I will have to remember next time to show you the bag that I purchased from her a few weeks ago. Laura is working a lot with t-shirts. She makes especially little mug rugs, which are super neat. She makes, yeah, all kinds of stuff. And you get more information about all the other participants that you can visit on the High Desert website. So I hope you're going to stop by. And if you're a knitter, bring your knitting. Come early or come late, so then hopefully it's not that crazy busy and we'll have time for a chat. And I don't think I expect from you to buy anything. I mean, of course, I'm always happy to, if you shop, but I love for my friends to stop by. I love for you to come and share a cookie or whatever it is that I'm going to be having that day, and have some hot cider, which if it's not really warm outside, that's the tradition that there will be hot apple cider. And so it's just going to be a fun day, and I'm looking forward to meeting everybody who's planning to stop by. So, but back to what's on the needles and back to yarn, and yeah, my friends, I have a confession to make. It's kind of like, I have to tell you a story. It's very funny. It's probably going to make you laugh. I mean, it makes me laugh about myself. So remember how I was telling you about my hand spun yarn that I had planned to use for a cardigan. It's a 2-ply hand spun alpaca yarn, which the fiber came from a farm close to Santa Fe. The alpaca's name was Zia, so super special. I ended up not having the yardage that I needed for the cardigan that I had wished to make. So I cruised Ravelry, found a pattern where I could make the sleeves. It was a top-down all-in-one where I could knit as long as I had the yarn for the body and for the sleeves. So all good, but then I ended up casting on a shawl after all because I don't even know. I thought it was gonna be snuggly and nice and just a good thing to have a big snuggly cozy shawl. I wanted to cast on also before I went up to Taos where I had seen the pattern. Actually, I had seen the shawl on someone where I liked the pattern, and that was the reason why I bought that pattern. And what I'm talking about is Susan B. Anderson's, what is it called? I think it's called either Retreat Shawl or Perfect Retreat Shawl. Now, where is the pattern? Not in here. So, so I started making the shawl. I adjusted it to make a combo thing of the Lemmy K and the lace section of the Susan B. Anderson pattern. And I'm already quite far into this project. Let me show you. And I really love the fabric I'm getting with this. I'm using 5.5 millimeter needles, fairly thick, but I wanted to have a fabric that gives the fuzzy yarn room to bloom. So that was fine. But then I put the whip on a chair back or on the table in the dining room. So I kept walking by there, glancing at it. And every time I walked by, after being this far, I thought, dang, I wish this was a cardigan after all. Or going to be a cardigan. Oh, what the heck, right? So I'm probably gonna frog this baby and make the cardigan that I had found after all. Well, it's okay. This grew fast, I mean, with this big needles, but it's just, couldn't I just have stuck with what I had initially in mind? Ay, ay, ay. So that was one of the projects that I was working on. And I just got back from another trip with my husband, and this one was, it was just something for us because I had been working so much in the past weeks, so we said, oh, we need to do something special just for the two of us, something fun, not work related. So of course I did bring projects, knitting, and I brought 2 sweaters and 2 pairs of socks for 1 week. Of course I didn't expect to finish any of the sweaters, but I just wanted to have a variety of projects, and I did not bring all my yarn. So let me start with my Amory by Isabel Kramer, which is the one that I started in class with Isabel Kramer. Sorry about the interruption. My husband just came in. He thought I was talking to him and didn't realize it was the podcast. So back to the Amory by Isabel Kramer. So like I said, I'm making it with Holst yarn. And I'm not quite sure if this might be the spot where I was last time, which is still fairly embarrassing, even though I'm a little bit further down, but I haven't even split for my sleeves. While my sweet friend Melody, who made this gorgeous progress keeper, it's a shrinky dink. She made those for everybody in the retreat. Melody just finished her sweater. So if you want to check that out, and if you're on Instagram, go to Meloday's Designs. I bet she has pictures posted. Yes, so Holst yarn, 3.5 millimeter needles. And the colorway is unknown because I didn't bring it, but it's just so pretty. Such a beautiful orangey mandarinish color. Love it. And I love the construction of this top down. Very interesting and very new to me way of doing this. I don't know if this is called a saddle shoulder. And then you increase for the sleeves, or you do it all in one, and then you split the sleeves and you just keep going. And it will only be done after knitting 5 million stitches. The other day, when we were in Las Vegas, we visited a state park where it was about a 45-minute drive, and I kept knitting on this and knitting and knitting and knitting and knitting and knitting. In the end, I'm like, what the heck? I cannot even tell that I'm further along on this. The stitches are so tiny. Oh my goodness. I think that's why the next day I switched to another project. But I also finished, while I was gone, a pair of socks. And I had already finished another pair of socks. And these are my Halloween socks. It's the 2018 Halloween colorway. You probably, I mean, who's gonna knit a pair of Halloween socks in a week, 5 days? With shipping, nobody. It doesn't matter. It's a beautiful colorway. So if you are interested in getting it, there are still 2 skeins in the shop. Plus next year, Halloween is coming. Next year too. So that's my first pair of socks. I kind of blazed through these because the yarn was so fun. Let me see if I can, this shows it. You see the neon speckles, so much fun. That was one pair of socks, and here is the other pair, and that's actually the one. The Halloween ones were done before we left, and this is the pair where I finished the second sock on our trip. 2, and as you can see, no ends woven in on either one of these pairs. I got my latte today because I think I have still a little bit of a jet lag thing going on, because I go to sleep at midnight at 1 o'clock or so, and I'm so tired in the mornings, but at night I'm wide awake, and normally I go to sleep way earlier, but there's a 1 hour time difference between here and Las Vegas, so I'm blaming it on that, not on temporary insanity on my part. So I showed you my socks, and there is another pair. Let me show you this real quick because I'm still working on these. I have yet to pick them up again. I still love this yarn so much. Not typical my colors, but love the way this is dyed. Got this in Germany last year from this company. Super affordable, extremely affordable. I don't know if they ship to America, but just saying, check them out. In a ZiaWoolz zombie bag. So what's the other one that I picked up? Yay! Can you guess? It's my Yuma. I probably asked Isabel Kramer when she was here how the name is pronounced, but now I keep saying it the way I have always said it since I first bought the pattern. It's my Yumi sweater. And it has been growing. I am so in love with this yarn. It is ZiaWoolz Breeze. Goodness, I hope I'm not lying. No, it's not Sundancer, it's Breeze, which is a blend with 10% tencel content, and in fingering weight, of course, as you may have guessed. And the colorway is called Where is Willie? This is going to be so beautiful. I love it so much. I am alternating skeins. I can't see any kind of weird pooling or anything. So far so good. So I picked that up, and I have been knitting quite a bit on this since I picked it back up on the vacation. I brought something else on the trip, but only 3 of them. I'll show you in a second. First, I need to show you something that I started because I'm crazy. Sometimes you just gotta cast on something. You know how that goes. So what I did was, all of a sudden I thought, well, we will travel with my mother again when she comes back soon, about 4 more weeks. And I thought, Mom needs a shawl. Mom needs a lace shawl, yes. I laugh about myself again. But it's all about having fun. You know, I had a few conversations about this, you know, when I reduced my whips, and then it made me, it did not make me happier in any way. What did make me happy was finishing things, but having less projects was challenging, especially when I was going on trips where I wanted to bring knitting and I had nothing to pick from. It was hard because then I felt like I need something new, but I didn't know what to bring. Not easy. So now I'm shamelessly casting on stuff. And this is the one item that I'm thinking possibly 4 weeks. That's a long time, right? It's the Sunshower Shawl. It is by Boo Knits. Boo Knits, they have a lot of lace stuff and a lot that I like. And if you're like me and you check your friends' feed sometimes, you probably saw that, I think 3 days ago in the middle of the night. My activity was favoriting all these lace patterns, and quite a bit of them were Boo Knits ones. And then I thought, what am I going to use? What yarn? And I remembered that I had something that I had purchased probably, I'm guessing maybe 15, 14 years ago. It was when we still lived in Maryland, and I bought the yarn at the Maryland Sheep and Wool Festival. I bought one color for myself and this other color for my mom, but I never knitted with it yet. The yarn is called, how do you even pronounce that? Zephyr? It's a blend of merino and silk, but it does not say how much merino and how much silk. 300 yards, colorway deep purple, and the company is called A Touch of Twist. They're in Pattersonville, New York, or at least they were. But I did find the yarn in the Ravelry database, so that was pretty cool. This was back then 300 yards for $4.99, which makes 4 skeins a $20 value. That would be quite a bit more expensive by now. So I started this, but it is being done with 3.75 millimeter needles, which I remember to be US size 5. I own only one pair that size, and I don't have interchangeable sets, so nothing that helped me out. Maybe I should have just gone up a needle size, but I just wanted to stick with the pattern because I don't even think I've ever knitted anything with lace yarn. So I had a hard time with these needles, even though they're not bad. They're pointy. But from what I've heard, the Haya Sharps are much better. So I have a pair of Haya Sharps coming in. Hopefully soon. I already checked. Our mail has already been delivered today, and it was not in the mail today. So I'm pretty confident, because it got shipped right away. I'm pretty confident it's going to be coming in tomorrow. However it comes from, the needles come, I believe, from Pennsylvania. My yarn store doesn't carry them, sadly. So that is Mom's Humble Shawl Beginnings. And then I mentioned the studio tour. So what I offer for sale is my yarn, of course, my project bags, which I also have a few of them that I brought to show you. Project bags is kind of like the same, it comes in the same category as also pencil bags, pencil pouches, which kind of go as notion pouches also. And I've been making those for a very long time, since the kids were smaller and they use those. Especially Fiona has always loved them, and she switches them around every couple of weeks. And so I have those. And then I used to do more. I used to offer more knitted items, which I have completely quit. The only hand knit item that I continue to offer at the studio tour is fingerless mitts, and it's just something which I decided I enjoy making them, and there are always a lot of people who come back and every year, and who are looking for Christmas presents, and I say I still enjoy making them. It's a little bit, when you've made a lot of something, you need something to get your interest, to spark your enthusiasm after a year again, to pick that same pattern back up, which is not a pattern because I have it in my head. But this year so what I usually do, I should say, is I have certain yarns which I have collected over the year and put in a special bin where I thought, oh, this would make nice fingerless mitts, and it was not too pricey, and so that goes in a bin which is marked for fingerless mitts. So in the end, usually when it gets closer to the studio tour and I'm kind of burned out a little bit already, I usually switch to hand spun yarn, which I enjoy the most for the fingerless mitts. This year, I decided right away, let's see what I have, what's going to be really, really fun to work with. And I decided to blend some of my yarns with mohair. And I have done a few mitts without mohair, which are these. Two pairs in this yarn, which is a commercial with a high acrylic content, but I thought it would be a kind of like a neat one for fingerless mitts because some people may like the glitter in it and the gradient color change. And I have more of this, and I think I got this on sale. I have it in other colorways, but then I started with the mohair. There's no looking back. I have this, which is a very fat single spool yarn, but now all the others that I've made so far are mohair ones. And here they are. Don't worry, I will not show you every single pair of mittens. Too boring, but you get the picture. So many colors and such a sweet variety. So there's a lot of these are yarns that are not available anymore, or I just had a small amount left over, half a ball or something. Mom always, for some reason, she loves to buy me mohair when she finds it at the flea market, or someone gifts her leftover yarn. So that's the kind of stuff that I love to use for this to keep them affordable. Here's one. Yep, notice something? No ends are woven in. For some reason, the purple is the softest, and I'm not sure if it's due to the mohair or what did that. I have two similar ones. A wool yarn, and for one I held it with one strand of mohair, and this one I added 2 strands of mohair. Ran out of the pink mohair, and then I thought it would look cute to add a different thumb. Really like the feel of these guys. And right now I am working on the next pair. I'm keeping my work in progress in this beautiful bowl. And so this is, again, I'm assuming it's a silk mohair blend with a small silk content, like the Rowan yarn, but some I just don't know. So, but I wanted to show you this. This is already wound up like this with 2 strands. And the funny thing is that I know I've dyed this a few years ago. I don't remember anything about the yarn. I don't remember what the base was. It feels very much like an alpaca wool blend. It's quite fuzzy. I don't even remember how I dyed it, but it's so pretty. I had a whole bunch of these balls just too long ago. And I have quite a bit of that batch in different colorways, and I've used it before without the mohair to make fingerless mitts last year, I think, and so this year I'm going to try to use up all that I have. Like for this, I used a little bit. Oh, I don't know if you can see this. The cuff is made with a one color, so it's a little bit lighter, and then I switched to the darker color, so I'm going to do the same for the other one. So, and oh yes, I wanted to mention one more thing. So for myself, because I tend to reinvent the wheel, so because I have these small amounts of yarn, I can never really go back to a recipe the next year. But this year I really made an effort to keep track of what I'm doing, and what the way I'm doing this is I am using my beautiful book, which you have seen before. Which is from Red Barn Collections. They're located in Salt Lake City. I talked about them before. You can order your own, like a favorite book, and have note paper of your choice put into the book, lined, like completely blank, or graph paper. And in my case, what I did here is I had my own book from my hometown library and sent it to them with my paper and had them ring bind it like this. So here I am right now. So what I'm doing is I am keeping track of the yarns that I use And it's not so much the type of yarn, because some are old where I can't really find them again. But, and that's why that's why I wasn't in the past not that thorough with my notes. But this time I'm gonna have a visual reference, and I'm gonna be able to go back next year when I do this again and see, this is what I did. So I write down how long I make the cuffs and what needles I use. And usually when you work your fingerless mitts, or when I do it with a certain needle size, then all the stitch count and the row count is going to be the same. So, and it's also going to be nice because next year I'm going to be able to see, oh wow, this is how many I did. If I have the label, I'm putting it in here. Yeah, that is this, the fingerless mitt frenzy. What else? Peek in next to me. So I mentioned last time, I think, that I was going on a trip to Taos with my knitting besties, and we rented a house. We spent 2 nights. Oh my goodness, this was the most amazing house. Really so beautiful, so New Mexico. We stayed there for 2 nights. We wished we had had another night. It was just so fantastic. The Wool Festival itself, and I keep saying I have to go online and leave some feedback, because to be honest, I was a little bit disappointed, because I feel like where the organizers take it to is towards more finished items and more towards fiber arts, and not so much yarn for the makers, which is kind of a little bit strange to me, to be honest. It was, I didn't buy any yarn. When do I ever not buy yarn? I did, however, from one of my favorite booths, buy some fiber, which is this lovely stuff. And I'm thinking to get more yardage. I'm probably gonna combine it with another something that's dyed with more variation. And it is, oh yes, I love this so much. I've never had fiber like this. It is 60% Polwarth and 40% silk. And the owner of this booth is not coming back either. Yeah, he said they're not liking, they also encourage more of the natural fibers, and he always has these beautiful hand-dyed skeins. I have shown you stuff from that booth before. Well, they're from Colorado. I can buy online, I hope, but that's always a little more complicated when you don't see it in person. So that's my spinning fiber. When I was in, and in Taos, what else can I tell you about that? Oh yes, it was super fun. On Sunday, I spent the day at Mooncat Fibers yarn store in Taos, and a lot of people stopped by and to say hi, and that was really nice. On Saturday, by the way, I went to see Anne of Woolly Wonka Fibers. She also had a what's it called now? I'm missing the word. A pop-up shop. So she was there, and we got to chat a little bit. And then, like I said, on Sunday, I spent the day there and met a lot of people, which I always enjoy. Yeah, it's just nice to meet knitters. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. So if you stopped by, thank you for that. Also, thank you to all my friends who were so much help with all the carrying of bins and bringing yarn and unpacking and repacking. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Okay, where was I going to go next? Las Vegas. More shopping. Of course, I had to go to the yarn store. Sin City Knits, I think. So, of course, I had to buy some yarn. And two of the locally hand-dyed yarns wanted to come home with me. One of them was this. This, I believe, was dyed by the owner of the yarn store. I should have asked to confirm. Look at the tag, it's so cool. 437 yards, a blend of superwash merino and nylon. All Sin City yarn is hand dyed in Las Vegas, Nevada. Ethically sourced fibers from North and South America and the UK. SinCityKnitShop.com. I don't know, I think I was really drawn to this bright green in here, so I was cruising the store and this called me. I had to get a mini also because this is Targi. What is it? 90% superwash Targi and 10% nylon. This will go, I think, in my blankets. It is an Oink. Oh dear. Oink pigments. A pigtail. I guess pigtail are the little ones. 25 grams. 100 yards. Oh. Hand dyed in Indianapolis, Indiana. Colorway is After All This Time. And my recommendation, one should always wear, readers, when trying unsuccessfully to read the labels. The other yarn I got was a Christmas yarn. I don't think, oh, I'm lying. I was going to say, I don't think I have any other Christmas yarn, but I do. I have my own. Last year's, which I haven't knitted up, Kiss Me Under the Mistletoe. And I have Buddy the Elf, which I ordered after seeing my friend Sabrina's skein, where I thought, oh, I have to have that too. I gotta dig those out, and then I gotta decide what I will have first. So what I will cast on next, because you finish socks, you get to cast a new pair on. So the company of this is, whoops, Pink Adobe Dye Works. And the colorway is North Pole, 7525, superwash merino nylon, 450 yards, 100 grams. And these people, this company is located in Henderson, Nevada, which is right by Las Vegas, I believe. So, oh yes, when I took a break, I brought my bag. This is mine. This is one of the ones that Catherine has brought me already. No, I'm not saying that right. I bought this a few weeks ago from her, and it prompted me to invite her to bring bags for the studio tour, which she has already done because she left for a trip. And so yeah, so I have all these beautiful bags here, and no two are alike. Really amazing, beautiful bags. And I have brought you these bags. I will have a lot of project bags which are going to be at the studio tour, like I said, but these three will go in the Etsy shop. You can get to my Etsy shop through my website, ZiaWoolz, or you look up ZiaWoolz on Etsy, and it's a Z in the beginning and at the end. Make sure you spell that correctly. And the way I do mine, I don't do interfacing. They're very scrunchable and not stiff. If you like stiff bags, you won't like these. And the Coffee Diva. All of these are sock size. And I started using the heavy duty zippers, which I really like. They zip a little nicer. And I have my label in all of these. And I mentioned that I do the pencil pouches, which I always offer for like really cheap at the studio tour. And this is how they look like. They will not be in the online shop, only if you really say, oh, I have to have this soft pencil pouch. You need to message me, and then I list it for you if you can't come to the studio tour. Oh, I forgot to show you the bag. And again, color coordinating, linings, various types. Oh, I like this one. Another bird one. Oh, these are so cute. Okay, this is it for today. I'm glad you joined me again. Thank you as always for watching, and thank you to all of you who always leave me a comment or say hi on Ravelry or in my, in the personal, by a personal message or on Instagram also. One more really important thing. The knit along is going to end next week. Halloween, October 31st, last day to enter. Actually, I may leave the threads open until the next episode in October because I'm the boss of my group, so I can give you all more time. So chatter away if you want in the chatter thread. If you have more to say about Isabel Kramer, knitting patterns, you know, but tag your project on Ravelry with Lila Lou Love Cal 2018. It's in the group thread. I put that in. But I wanted to tell you what you can win. So the finished objects thread, I will draw a winner from that thread, and the winner will get an Isabel Kramer, a Lila Lou Love skein. And the winner of the chatter thread will get a skein, which I need to unearth here. I have it in a bag. Oh, see, give it away. So don't give it away anywhere else. Oh, it smells so sheepy. So I don't think I showed this already. I think I may have only mentioned it. I thought it's safe to assume that everybody will love this skein because it's just been so popular. It's my Beekeeper colorway. I wonder if there's some in the shop. There could be. But the yarn is one that's also super dear to me. It is my Tau Space. And that is a Corriedale blend, which is not super soft when you touch it like this, and also when you knit with it. But once you throw this in the wash, I mean the socks, the finished socks, it just blooms and gets soft and fuzzy and cozy, and I love this yarn so much for socks. So hopefully you will too. And this is now really everything for today, so I'm gonna say goodbye again, and I hope you all will be having a good time until I see you again in about 2 weeks. I may, however, be recording after the studio tour, coming to think about it. I'll see how things work out. You will find out then. Until then, happy knitting. Bye-bye.